The book of Yoveliym, Jubilees. This is the history of the division of the days of the law and of the testimony, of the events of the years, of their weeks, of their jubilees, throughout all the years of the world, as Yahweh spake to Moses, on Mount Sinai, when he went up to receive the tables of the law and of the commandment, according to the voice of Yoveliym, as he said unto him, Go up to the top of the mount. Chapter 1. And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Yasharal, Israel, out of Mitzrayim, Egypt, in the 3rd month, on the 16th day of the month, that Yoveliym spake to Moshe, saying, Come up to me on the mount, and I will give thee 2 tables of stone of the law and of the commandment, which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moshe went up into the mount of Yoveliym, and the glory of Yahweh abode on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it 6 days. And he called to Moshe on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud, and the appearance of the glory of Yahweh was like a flaming fire on the top of the mount. And Moshe was on the mount 40 days and 40 nights, and Yahweh taught him the earlier and the latter history of the division of all the days of the law and of the testimony. And he said, Incline thy heart to every word which I shall speak to thee on this mount, and write them in a book, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil which they have wrought in transgressing the covenant which I established between me and thee for their generations this day on Mount Sinai. And thus it will come to pass, when all these things come upon them, that they will recognize that I am more righteous than they in all their judgments and in all their actions, and they will recognize that I've been truly with them. And do thou write for thyself all these words which I declare unto thee this day, for I know their rebellion and their stiff neck, before I bring them into the land of which I swear to their fathers, to Abraham, and to Yitzchak, Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, Unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey, and they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to strange Elohim, which cannot deliver them from aught of their tribulation. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them, for they will forget all my commandments, even all that I command them. And they will walk after the Gentiles, and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and will serve their Elohim, and these will prove unto them an offense, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive, and will fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my ordinances, and my commandments, and the festivals of my covenant, and my Shabbats, and my Kodesh, holy place, which I have hallowed for myself in their midst, and my tabernacle, and my sanctuary, which I have hallowed for myself in the midst of the land, that I should set my name upon it, and that it should dwell there. And they will make to themselves high places and groves and graven images, and they will worship each his own graven image, so as to go astray. And they will sacrifice their children to demons, and to all the works of the error of their hearts, And I will send witnesses unto them, that I may witness against them. But they will not hear, and will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the law, and they will abrogate and change everything, so as to work evil before my eyes. And I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity, and for a prey, and for devouring. And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the Gentiles. And they will forget all my law, and all my commandments, and all my judgments, and will go astray as to new moons, and Sabbaths, and festivals, and jubilees, and ordinances. And after this they will turn to me from amongst the Gentiles with all their heart, and with all their being, soul, and with all their strength. And I will gather them from amongst all the Gentiles, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them, when they seek me with all their heart and with all their being. And I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and I will remove them the plant of uprightness with all my heart and with all my being. And they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they shall be the head and not the tail. And I will build my sanctuary in their midst, and I will dwell with them, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them, nor fail them, for I am Yahweh, their Elohim. And Moshe fell on his face and prayed, and said, O Yahweh, my Elohim, do not forsake thy people and thy inheritance, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts, and do not deliver them into the hands of their enemies, the Gentiles, lest they should rule over them and cause them to sin against thee. Let thy mercy, O Yahweh, be lifted up upon thy people, and create in them an upright spirit, and let not the spirit of Beliar rule over them, to accuse them before thee, and to ensnare them from all the paths of righteousness. But they are thy people, and thy inheritance, which thou hast delivered with thy great power from the hands of the Mitzrayim Egyptians. Create in them a clean heart and a Kodesh, holy spirit, and let them not be ensnared in their sins from henceforth until eternity. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, I know their contrariness, and their thoughts, and their stiff-neckedness, and they will not be obedient till they confess their own sin, and the sin of their fathers. And after this they will turn to me in all uprightness, and with all their heart, and with all their being, soul. And I will circumcise the foreskin of their heart, and the foreskin of the heart of their seed, and I will create in them a Kodesh Ruach, Holy Spirit, and I will cleanse them, so that they shall not turn away from me from that day unto eternity. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, and their beings will cleave to me and to all my commandments, and they will fulfill my commandments, and I will be their father, and they shall be my children, and they shall be called children of the living Elohim. And every Malach, angel, and every Ruach, spirit, shall know, yea, they shall know that these are my children, and that I am their father in uprightness and righteousness, and that I love them. And do thou write down for thyself all these words which I declare unto thee on this mountain, the first and the last, which shall come to pass in the divisions of the days in the law, and in the testimony, and in the weeks, and the jubilees unto eternity. And he said unto the Malach of the presence, write for Moshe from the beginning of creation till my sanctuary has been built among them for all eternity, and Yahweh will appear to the eyes of all, and all shall know that I am the Elohim of Yasharal, and the father of all the children of Yaakov, and king on Mount Sion for all eternity. And Sion and Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, shall be Kodesh, holy. And the Malach of the presence, who went before the camp of Yasharal, took the tables of the divisions of the years from the time of creation, of the law, and of the testimony, of the weeks, of the jubilees, according to the individual years, according to all the number of the jubilees, according to the individual years, from the day of the new creation, when the heavens and the earth shall be renewed, and all their creation according to the powers of the heaven, and according to all the creation of the earth, until the sanctuary of Yahweh shall be made in Yerushalayim on Mount Sion, and all the luminaries be renewed for healing and for peace and for blessing for all the elect of Yasharal, and that thus it may be from that day and unto all the days of the earth. Chapter 2. And the Malach angel of the presence spake to Moses, according to the word of Yahweh, saying, write the complete history of the creation, how in 6 days Yahweh Elohim finished all his works, and all that he created, and kept Shabbat on the 7th day, and hallowed it for all ages, and appointed it as a sign for all his works. For on the 1st day he created the heavens which are above, and the earth, and the waters, and all the spirits which serve before him, the Malachim, angels of the presence, and the Malachim of sanctification, and the Malachim of the Ruach, spirit of fire, and the Malachim of the Ruach of the winds, and the Malachim of the Ruach of the clouds, and of darkness, and of snow, and of hail, and of hoarfrost, and the Malachim of the voices, and of the thunder, and of the lightning, and the Malachim of the spirits Ruachoth, of cold, and of heat, and of winter, and of spring, and of autumn, and of summer, and of all the Ruachoth of his creatures which are in the heavens and on the earth. He created the abysses and the darkness, eventide and night, and the light, dawn and day, which he hath prepared in the knowledge of his heart. And thereupon we saw his works, and praised him, and lauded before him on account of all his works. For 7 great works did he create on the 1st day. And on the 2nd day he created the firmament in the midst of the waters, and the waters were divided on that day. Half of them went up above, and half of them went down below the firmament that was in the midst over the face of the whole earth. And this was the only work Yoveliym created on the second day. And on the third day he commanded the waters to pass from off the face of the whole earth into one place, and the dry land to appear. And the waters did so as he commanded them, and they retired from off the face of the earth into one place outside of this firmament, and the dry land appeared. And on that day he created for them all the seas according to their separate gathering places, and all the rivers, and the gatherings of the waters in the mountains and on all the earth, and all the lakes, and all the dew of the earth, and the seed which is sown, and all sprouting things, and fruit-bearing trees, and trees of the wood, and the garden of Eden in Eden, and all plants, kind after their kind. These four great works Yoveliym created on the third day. And on the fourth day he created the sun and the moon and the stars, and set them in the firmament of the Shamayim, heaven, to give light upon all the earth, and to rule over the day and the night, and divide the light from the darkness. And Yoveliym appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days, and for Shabbats, and for months, and for feasts, and for years, and for Shabbats of years, and for Jubilees, and for all seasons of the years. And it divided the light from the darkness, and for prosperity, that all things may prosper which shoot and grow on the earth. These three kinds he made on the fourth day, and on the fifth day he created great sea monsters in the depths of the waters, for these were the first things of flesh that were created by his hands, the fish and everything that moves in the waters, and everything that flies, the birds and all their kind. And the sun rose above them to prosper them, and above everything that was on the earth, everything that shoots out of the earth, and all fruit-bearing trees, and all flesh. These three kinds he created on the fifth day, and on the sixth day he created all the animals of the earth, and all cattle, and everything that moves on the earth. And after all this he created man. A man and a woman created he them, and gave him dominion over all that is upon the earth, and in the seas, and over everything that flies, and over beasts, and over cattle, and over everything that moves on the earth, and over the whole earth, and over all this he gave him dominion. And these four kinds he created on the sixth day, and there were altogether 22 kinds. And he finished all his work on the sixth day. All that is in the heavens, and on the earth, and in the seas, and in the abysses, and in the light, and in the darkness, and in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Shabbat day, that we should work 6 days, but keep Shabbat on the seventh day from all work. And all the Malachim of the presence, and all the Malachim of sanctification, these two great classes, he hath bidden us to keep the Shabbat with him in Shamayim, heaven, and on earth. And he said unto us, Behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the peoples, and these shall keep the Shabbat day, and I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them, as I have sanctified the Shabbat day, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even so will I bless them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Yoveliym. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob Jacob from amongst all that I've seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever. And I will teach them the Shabbat day, that they may keep Shabbat thereon from all work. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should keep Shabbat with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink, and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified unto himself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should keep Shabbat together with us. And he caused his commands to ascend as a sweet savor, acceptable before him all the days. There were 22 heads of mankind, from Adam to Yaakov, and 22 kinds of work were made until the seventh day. This is blessed and Kodesh, holy, and the former also is blessed and Kodesh. And this one serves with that one for sanctification and blessing. And to this, Yaakov and his seed, it was granted that they should always be blessed and Kodesh ones of the first testimony and law, even as he had sanctified and blessed the Shabbat day on the seventh day. He created Shamayim and earth and everything that he created in 6 days. And Elohim made the seventh day Kodesh for all his works. Therefore, he commanded on its behalf that whoever does any work thereon shall die, and that he who defiles it shall surely die. Wherefore do thou command the children of Yasharal, Israel, to observe this day, that they may keep it Kodesh, and do not thereon any work, and not to defile it, as it is holier than all other days. And whoever profanes it shall surely die, and whoever does thereon any work shall surely die eternally, that the children of Yasharal may observe this day throughout their generations, and not be rooted out of the land. For it is a Kodesh day and a blessed day, and everyone who observes it and keeps Shabbat thereon from all his work will be Kodesh and blessed throughout all the days like unto us. Declare and say to the children of Yasharal the law of this day, both that they should keep Shabbat thereon, and that they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts, and that it is not lawful to do any work thereon, which is unseemly, to do thereon their own pleasure, and that they should not prepare thereon anything to be eaten or drunk, and that it is not lawful to draw water, or bring in, or take out thereon through their gates any burden, which they had not prepared for themselves on the 6th day in their dwellings. And they shall not bring in nor take out from the house to house on that day, for that day is more Kodesh and blessed than any Jubilee day of the Jubilees. On this we kept Shabbat in the Shamayim oath, heavens, before it was made known to any flesh to keep Shabbat thereon the earth. And the Creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all peoples and nations to keep Shabbat thereon, but Yasharal alone. Them alone he permitted to eat and drink and to keep Shabbat thereon the earth. And the Creator of all things blessed this day which he had created for blessing and Kodeshah, holiness, and kavod, glory, above all days. This law and testimony was given to the children of Yasharal as a law forever unto their generations.